Hey everyone, Tesla Realist here. Welcome back. And today I'm going to hit you with the top 5 reasons why Tesla will win this decade and beyond. Coming in at number 5, that is the fan base. So imagine how much Tesla has achieved up till now in their history. So much, right? For most of their history, they did not have such a broad fan base that was so deep entrenched into the vision, the belief, the dream, all about transitioning accelerating the world's transition to sustainable energy. Now you have people called so-called Tesla fanboys, which for most of their history they didn't have that. They had doubters, and look how much they were able to achieve, even despite that. Extrapolate that to what they'll be able to achieve in the upcoming decade and beyond. But now they have a huge fan base that grows every day. You can only imagine what they'll be able to do. That is number 5. Coming in at number 4. Now they are profitable. For most of Tesla's history up to this point, they were not making a profit. In fact, they were spending and burning billions of dollars annually to, do research and development and build up factories and learn how to produce vehicles and blah, 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 blah. In fact, even their first factory that they ever had was this factory they bought on the cheap from, I believe it was Toyota and perhaps GM, the Fremont factory. It's not even designed correctly to produce electric vehicles. It's not even efficiently, laid out in such a way that you can produce electric vehicles quickly and at scale. But now they have profit. So they're not burning billions of dollars, accruing more debt, etc. every quarter. Now the equation's going the other way. They have extra money coming in every quarter. After paying for all their expenses, etc., there's extra money. And they can use that money to do more research and development, advance technologies, produce more vehicles, build more factories, hire more employees, etc., etc. If you look at how far they've come since since they originated up until now, and view it with the lens that for most of their history up until now, they had no profit. In fact, they had debt, building and building. And now, looking forward the next 10 years, they have billions in profit coming in every quarter. You can just imagine what's going to happen in the next 10 years and beyond. So that is number 4. Number 3 is that Tesla is so far in the lead in terms of producing electric cars at scale for profit, and their lead will only accelerate. For years we've heard this argument, the competition is coming. Where? The Taycan? The Porsche Taycan? Sure, they sold, a couple thousand, whatever. Tesla sold over 300,000 vehicles to customers the last year. And they're only increasing. Who else has a large electric vehicle charging network throughout the entire United States, as well as Europe, Asia, etc.? Who else has that? Electrify America or something? Not to the extent that Tesla has, and it's only accelerating. They're growing the supercharger stations quicker now. Who else has service for electric vehicles? Who else has experience in producing electric vehicles? Who else has experience producing electric vehicles at scale? Who else has experience producing electric vehicles at scale for profit? You see what I'm saying? Tesla's so far ahead in the lead with all of this. The other automakers either have to continue producing ICE vehicles, internal combustion engine. That is, they don't even compete with Tesla. Or if they choose to compete, they do so at much less volumes and at a significant loss. So that is number 3. Tesla is already far in the lead, and the lead is only widening. Nobody else is even a close second. Number 2, that is the people. So what do I mean by that? Number 1, the employees, okay? If you're just an employee of Toyota, you go in, you do your 9 hours, you go home, you design cars, you build cars, etc. You go home. If you're an employee of Tesla, the job really takes, more of your identity, more of your pride. At least I must imagine it must. And why is that? Because Tesla's not here just trying to build cars, make a profit, pad their quarterly numbers. What are they trying to do? They're trying to accelerate the world's transition to sustainable energy. That's a mission. That's a vision. Employees of other companies don't have that luxury, this kind of mission or vision to, strive for, to achieve. In fact, multiple surveys come out and show that the number 1 or number 2 company that new engineers want to work at is Tesla. And, it's neck and neck with SpaceX every year or whatever. No surprise there. And why is that? Because they have a mission, a vision, a drive. They're trying to make the world a cleaner place. And imagine how much of an advantage that fact imbues upon your company. That the youngest, brightest engineers entering the workforce, they aspire above all else to work at your company. Not the other 3,000 companies in the United States or how, your company, the brightest engineers. They want to provide their talents, their ambition, their drive, and their straight up hard work to your company above all else. All other companies that want to get a bright engineer from a top institution will have to fight for them. Tesla, they walk right in. So that's the first part of the people. The second part is the leadership. And of course, most of that is Elon Musk. So he is a visionary. He is an expert at what it takes to lead and develop a company that will produce electric vehicles at scale. And he's not afraid to go out and achieve it. If you ask any person on the street, who's the CEO of Toyota? Do they know that? I would say most likely not. Do they know who the CEO of Tesla is? Yes. And why is that? Because he's a visionary. He gets things done. He's done so many things in his career that everybody else at the time has said, that's impossible. So everything Tesla has achieved up until this point, they did while burning cash with very little fan base, a ton of doubters, etc. Now you have a huge fan base. You have billions of profit coming in every quarter. Billions of profit, not revenue. And Elon Musk's personal wealth he now has $300 billion. So any kind of project he wants to fund that Tesla doesn't have the money for, which I don't see how that could happen, he can just fund it himself. If they were unstoppable before, just imagine what's going to happen in the next 10 years or so and beyond. That's why number 2 is the people. And last but not least, the final reason why Tesla will win this decade and beyond is that electric cars are just better. Electric vehicles are just better. There's no other way around it. The internal combustion engine has been, being optimized and advanced and improved for 100 years now. And yes, I know that the first electric vehicle was made in the late 1800s or something along those lines as one of the first vehicles. But the amount of engineering time and effort applied to optimizing it for mass production for consumer level vehicles is clearly not on the same level as the internal combustion engine. The technology is still in its infancy when in comparison. It will continue to improve, and it's already better. What are some reasons electric cars are better? First of all, they perform better. Now, how can I say that? Why is that? First example that comes to mind is instant torque. When you press the accelerator on an internal combustion engine, there's a lag. You have to wait for the fuel to be injected, the engine to spool up, the RPMs to increase. Then you get the torque that's applied. And the torque maximizes in a certain band of RPMs. Electric vehicle, none of that. That's in the past. You hit the pedal, boom, full max torque. Doesn't matter what RPM you're currently at. You have access to 100% torque at 100% of the time. And it's instant. Or essentially instant. If you've never driven a Tesla before, you'll feel it. You'll feel the difference. You hit that pedal, instant torque, full torque. So they perform better, instant torque. Number one. Number two, low center of gravity. Now you can build an internal combustion engine with the goal of having a low center of gravity. But with an electric vehicle, you just put the battery in the floor pan of the car. Battery's large and heavy. You have low center of gravity. Well, what does that do? The cornering performance goes way up. It's way less likely to flip. It grips the road way better. How else is an electric car better? They're safer. So there's no internal combustion engine in the front, fascia of the car. So if you get on a head-on collision, you don't need a big wall there to prevent the engine coming into the cabin and crushing you alive, because there's no engine there. Which also means that the front crumple zone, one of the ways cars keep you safe is that they crumple to absorb the impact. The crumple zone on an electric vehicle can just be stupid big because you don't have the front crumple zone, because you don't have this big engine in the way. So you can make it like 3 times as long. So you're so much safer from a forward, a head-on collision. There's also no flammable gas tank. People think, with batteries, it's so risky, it's so dangerous. You drive around, you get in a crash, they blow up, or they're flammable. No, what's risky and dangerous? Driving around with a fuel tank that holds gasoline or diesel. Gasoline is flammable. Internal combustion engine is dangerous and flammable, or the fluids inside it. How else is an electric car safer? Well, there's no dangerous fumes. You hit the accelerator in an internal combustion engine, what happens? Toxic exhaust fumes spew out of your car into the world. Why would you want that? Hit the accelerator on an electric car, what happens? You go forward. That's it. No fumes. Breathing in, causing, air pollution and all that. How else are electric cars safer? Sound pollution. If you live right next to a road like I do, you hear the traffic all day long. Electric cars are almost silent. It's better for everyone's hearing. It's better for the environment. How else are electric cars better? They're more convenient. Now people think, they're not. You got to charge it for an hour. How could it be more convenient? No. You charge it at home in your garage. 99.99% of the time. You never stop at any charging station in your life. You charge at home. When you do have to, the only time you stop at a charging station is when you're on a long road trip away from home. You can't charge at home. Then you charge, the car has almost 400 miles of range. Some of the Teslas have more than 400 miles of range. So you charge it for 30 minutes. So you drive for 7 hours, and then you charge it for 30 minutes while you walk around, get lunch, and urinate. Come back to the car, drive another 7 hours. Or you drive it for 7 hours, park it at your hotel, charge it overnight at the hotel, get up, immediately go, fresh battery. So it's more convenient that way. How else is it more convenient? There's less parts, less moving parts. Internal combustion engine, you got the transmission can break, you got all this stuff, moving parts, carbonator. Electric vehicle, you just have the electric motor. That's it. How else is it more convenient? No brake pads. You never have to change your brake pads. Well, how could that be? When you want to stop, you just run the electric motor in reverse, and that puts the kinetic energy from your forward movement and charges the electrical battery underneath your car. So it converts your forward kinetic energy from your forward movement into electrical energy in your car, increasing your range. Never step on the brakes once. Now, yes, the car has brakes, but you use them so infrequently because of that, you never have to change your brake pads. I don't think people know this. How else is an electric vehicle better? The fuel that you use to drive it is cheaper. Oh, electric's expensive in my area. So then probably so is gas. All in all, for most people, getting the same amount of miles of range out of their vehicles, paying for, 200 miles of range in an electric vehicle, aka paying for electric, versus paying for 200 miles of range in a gas vehicle, aka paying for, gas, it's cheaper in an electric vehicle. Electric is cheaper than gas. You also don't have to do oil changes. You also have to go for maintenance less because there's less moving parts. There's no oil. So that is the top reason why Tesla will continue to dominate this decade and beyond. It's so simple. Electric vehicles are just better. Thank you very much for watching. I got a little bit long-winded on the last part there. Enjoy the rest of your day. Please consider subscribing.